Business owners and residents worry that alcohol-fueled rowdy crowds in Fells Point are becoming the norm, not the exception. And some are blaming the state's attorney's office policy of not prosecuting specific low-level crimes as the reason.
I feel like if you make that policy permanent, you're basically telling people who don't want to live in obedience of laws, here's the keys to the city, do as you please, and we're okay with it.
Chef Nancy Longo opened her Fells Point restaurant in 1989. She wants the city state's attorney to continue prosecuting quality of life crimes.
If her job is to be the state's attorney and to prosecute, then at this point, it's time to start prosecuting again.
City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby says what she saw happening in Fells Point on social media and through other sources has nothing to do with her prosecution policies.
You can arrest individuals for an assault. You should be arresting individuals that are defacing and maliciously destroying public and private property, assaulting people, and attempted murder. These are all crimes that we continue to prosecute and have been prosecuting.
Last year, Mosby adopted a new prosecution policy recently made permanent to slow the spread of COVID-19 in jail. It was also intended to help stretch police resources to deal with violent crime. Offenses her office will no longer prosecute include drug and paraphernalia possession, prostitution, trespassing, minor traffic offenses, open container violations, urinating and defecating in public.
These low-level offenses have nothing to do with public safety. We want to use our limited law enforcement resources on focusing on homicides and non-fatal shootings.
David Collins,
WBAL
police,
TV
the number
11
of
News.
murders and non-fatal shootings have increased this year compared to this time last year. Meanwhile, business owners and residents want to meet with the police commissioner, the mayor, and city state's attorney to discuss restoring order moving forward. Reporting live from Courthouse East, David Collins, WBAL TV.
One question about last night, why you didn't attend.
So, I was at a previously scheduled community meeting that has been on my calendar for weeks. This meeting, town hall, was at the request of the 46th district and the folks in City Hall. They wanted to happen this week. I could not be there. I'm not going to counsel on a group that I've been on their schedule for over a month to be there. We were able to have the deputy mayors there, the police commissioner there, and a great people. And I spoke with Senate President Ferguson and folks last night who are appreciative.
Was it a community service? Was it a community service event?
No, it was a actual community association meeting that was previously scheduled.
People who were mad or were wondering why you promoted the event on your social media pages, saying we hope to see you there, and then you weren't.
Well, the key word is we. We hope to see you there. This is about our administration meeting the needs. This is why I have an administration that is larger than me. This is why we have a police commissioner and deputy mayors, because we have to all be able to be in places. So I'm not going to disrespect the community again and that asked me to be at their community meeting a long time ago and cancel on them. This is about being everywhere we needed to be.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. They say they just want police to enforce the law.
And we have complete team coverage tonight on every angle of this story, starting with Keith Daniels. He has the latest on the situation in Fells Point and why some residents in southeast Baltimore say the mayor isn't the only city leader who has fallen short of addressing concerns about safety. Keith?
Well, we're live in Broadway Square here in Fells Point, and police presence is plentiful. Take a look over here. You see the parked cruisers over there. I say parked because the officers are out of their cars and they're on the street. Two of them just over there in the square. And if you look over here behind me in this direction, you see officers standing there and even a commander in the white shirt. But not too many people out in the square. The rain, probably the reason still. The police plan in place. But tonight, for some residents, city leaders, including one councilman in particular, have fallen short of addressing their safety concerns. Austin Rooney is standing in the heart of Fells Point, where chaos and violence broke out last weekend. Rooney, among residents, struggling to make the community safer.
It'll end up like a lot of other neighborhoods in the city.
But according to Rooney, it seems the push to stop the violence is getting pushed back from city leaders. First, from Mayor Brandon Scott, who Rooney believes snubbed residents at last night's town hall.
We've seen a pattern with our elected leaders.
And Councilman Zeke Cohen, who represents the district and who's had many discussions with Rooney.
In these interactions, he's been in many cases, like very disrespectful to us as residents and as his constituents. And I think in many cases we've been more respectful towards him than he has with us.
Rooney and Cohen have a history that dates back to 2017, when Rooney led efforts to hire an armed private security force for his Canton neighborhood amid growing crime in the area. At the time, he says Cohen, in a public forum, labeled him, among other things, a racist. The same conversation resurfacing in Post in April this year. The publicity in 2017, fueled by an elected city leader, ultimately stopped Rooney's efforts.
I think that's reflected in this current situation in Fells Point, where neighbors have expressed a valid concern for their safety, and instead we've been met with complete inaction by the city, and in even some cases, dismissal.
Cohen declined an interview, but did release a statement. It reads in part, "I value every one of my constituents. I am sorry to hear Rooney feels unheard, and I always welcome him to reach out for further conversation." Well, we are back here live where we see more police officers walking the beat over there in the square, and again in this direction, more commanders, more police officers, and business owners standing there with police, but the square, though, virtually empty. We're live now in Fells Point. Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.